Lucky Boys Podcast.
What are you guys waiting for? We've been asking. We've created this proposal, and it's been vetted by Scott Stringer, the chief financial officer, the comptroller of New York City. And him, and actually, it's funny. Letitia James as well too, who is the Attorney General for New York State, has basically filed a complaint against New York City.
I heard, there's a lawsuit suing the city for $800 million.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're saying essentially they committed fraud, and with the backing of comptroller that vetted our proposal, and they said it's the most fiscally sound for the city.
Does it have legs, the lawsuit?
The lawsuit does, but it was right before the pandemic, and then when the pandemic hit, we feel like it's hard to sue a city $810 million when
at this
fiscal
state,
right. Fiscal year, especially when there's so many people being hurt, and I get that, and so we created this proposal that if we bring all the lenders and all the players on the table and say, hey, look, bring down the principal, then we could really make something work and have these guys survive.
So like in the interim, just bring down the interest. So, at the base level, we'll have, the workers, the people who are making the city run, be able to survive. And then we'll come back and figure things out. So I know Scott Stringer, he's running for mayor. Is that something on his platform that you're pushing, or has he pushed that or on his
not at
policies?
all. I mean, he wasn't even talking to us about him like, oh, hey, look, I'm running for mayor. Like that wasn't even on the table. I honestly felt like we were working with his office and, on Zoom meetings talking to them, and they wanted to see any way we could help. And so we had media come out to City Hall. We had lines and rows of yellow taxis, trying to, get people to see what's going on. And so, Scott Stringer just came out and said, hey, this is, we owe these drivers at least this much.
Absolutely. Has there been anyone else standing up for you guys?
Yeah. AOC. We've driven to the Capitol, Washington, D.C. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
We have shut down the bridges. We have went to lobbies of banks. So they see all this, and we're getting a lot of good feedback from it, and positive feedback. And they're rooting for us, right? Because just once let the little guys win, and for us what we feel like the city is just waiting and let this thing resolve on its own. But
do you think this is going to be pushed off to the next mayor?
We have no idea, but he could act before he leaves. He could act as, our hero, right, and act as backstop. And it will cost, it will only cost them $75 million over the course of 20 years.
That's the lowering of the interest rate.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. So what it is that they only have to buy the existing loan. If the loan somehow defaults, right, it would only cost. The only way the city would have to put money in is how they have to put 105% of what the existing loan is, and even then they could sell it off to the second bidder behind them. And from what we gathered is that it will only cost the city $75 million over 20 years, and you're talking about an annual budget of $90 billion that
right,
the city
when you look
has.
at it from a macro point of view, it's a drop in a bucket.
Exactly, and you could really save a workforce.